Welcome back to SL Chennai Speaks Out. Do we care enough for the differently abled? Ma'am, to you first. The Disabilities Act, we know most laws are followed only in the breach. Section 69 of the Act says there's a fine and imprisonment for those who actually get into compartments or seats, occupy seats meant for the differently abled. Indian Railways either are oblivious of this or blissfully unaware of this, or they don't seem to care to enforce it.
So Railways, they have to really think about this. They have to make this as a serious issue. And one more thing what I would like to say regarding this is, any railway station, even the now popularly used MRTS, the escalators and the lifts which are meant for people with disabilities, we are not able to use it because most of the time it is not in use. And one more thing I would like to say is the online booking. In online booking, just like anybody else, we cannot do it. Because the person with disability, they have to go in person, produce the letter, and then only they have to get it booking. I would like to bring this to the notice of the authorities.
All right. Meenakshi, I know you've been running a campaign. Also, the doors are too narrow for a wheelchair to actually go inside, right?
Yeah.
Practical
Sanjay,
difficulty in entering that train.
Yeah, actually I would like to mention here, like we always talk about access to disabled people or whatever. That's why we look at percentage, how many disabled people are there, how many people are traveling in a day in a train and all that. But I would like to make a point, like universal design is the order of the day, and we cannot look at percentages for making things accessible or make it universal design. That's a mandate on the part of the government, and I don't know why Railways has taken it on the back seat.
But I think just recently the Carriages and Wagon Works Department designed disabled-friendly toilets for the differently abled in sleeper coaches with most, more spacious coaches. Also handrails and the lower wash basins.
Yeah, Sanjay, we cannot comment on it because we are planning to do an access audit of those toilets before we can comment on it. But whatever is available, we can comment on it. They have designed a special compartment, and there's a lot of confusion. They've made it reserved, and the general unreserved compartments are not accessible for all. So what will happen to the economically weaker disabled population? How do they use this transport system is a big question. And access, a ramp at the entrance and lower telephones in few stations, and water taps at a lower level in one of the station is what the railway authorities could submit as a report back to our PIL, which was filed in 2006.
There is a AC coach or a reservation coach or a ladies compartment. Nobody steps into it. If anyone goes, they'll be immediately fined. And when it comes to disabled coach, it is taken for granted. The second thing, in abroad, all train, each coach will have a speakers to know which station is it. Whereas the disabled coach was an extreme end, and the size of the coach is itself, which is very smaller. And these are the disparities which are so visible as far as the railway is concerned. And the concession forms, when we are supposed to travel, when we produce it, they say, no, you should also have an escort. No law says that we are not supposed to go with an escort. When we have the freedom to go alone, they should allow us to travel. And this is something which is very unfortunate. Railway and the porters are allowed to do a business in the railway stations. Where a visually challenged, he doesn't want to beg. He wants to sell some tickets in the suburban railway station. He's been fined, he's been taken to prison, he's been tortured.
When it comes to booking tickets, I'm told even the lower berth is not given always to the differently abled.
Yeah, actually when we book with concessions, mostly my escort will get the second middle berth, and I'll get the
there's no point in having an escort really.
We assume that the disabled person needs decisions taken for them. And I think special schools are hugely to blame for that culture also, being from a special center. The point is whether the disabled wants to travel with an escort or doesn't want to travel with an escort. It's his business, and that choice should be his. And which compartment he wants to travel in is his business, not mine, that he should go to the last. With job, it's always job placement. In fact, Vidyasagar has now begun to dislike the word placement. You decide what he can do or what he can't do. How am I to know what he can do or not do? Like nobody knows what I can do or can't do. I make my own choices. It's a question of choice. And those choices are being denied to the disabled, not only by the general public, but a huge lot by the special schools and centers. I think the whole attitude of a special school is, let's equip them let's rehabilitate them, let's place them in a job, and let's make their life. It's not that.
Ma'am, as somebody, I think you all are part of special schools.
I'm from Balavidyalaya. We are an oral school where our children develop language and speech. Many of our kids are in jobs and in schools and colleges because we take them under 2.5. By 5, they are into mainstream schools. Our kids face one big danger there when they go in for jobs. What happens is, finally, some of the organizations and corporate offices end up with telephone interviews, and our children can't handle telephones. So I think there should be some kind of sensitization where these corporate offices must realize, okay, this person cannot handle a telephone interview, let him come in for a personal interview. And that is one issue. One more issue
HR departments amenable? Are they willing to accommodate these requests?
Okay. Some of them go in for telephone interviews. And in one more situation, what happens is, the candidate passes all.
What about video conferencing of interviews? Today, for prisoners, you don't take them to the courts, but you have video conferencing for prisoners. Why can't you have video conferencing interviews?
Sanjay, I think it is more than that. Given the volume of the scheduling of interviews are there. If you look at the number of CVs, you place an ad for one specific post, you're flooded. So there you've got a junior assistant in HR based on the parameters shortlisting. Then the second round you want to do is a telephone interview. And then based on the communication skills and what is there in the CV, you call them for a personal discussion. If you start calling everybody for a personal discussion given on...
no, she's talking about shortlisted, right? After being shortlisted.
I'm saying shortlist the candidate.
You are looking at the CVs, what they've sent across. Then you shortlist them through a telephone call. Then you only call them for an interview. Because if you have to call everyone, given the size of HR departments of all organizations, it will take them years to go through all of them.
Which is why, ma'am, I mean, what is the percentage of the differently abled actually employed today? In government or outside?
It's 0.48%.
0.48%?
0.48%.
0.48%.
Yeah, actually the government has guaranteed at least 3% reservation in all identified jobs, which again is...
Why do you talk about jobs? The government also says 3% reservation in railway coaches. That amounts to 60 seats on the train. Exactly. But I think only 4 seats are available, right, on trains today?
Yeah. No, that is in the disability compartment, Sanjay, for 2 and 2 upper berths. But this statistics actually we gave them, like in the sense, if at least 3%, then 72, which amounts to so many seats. That is the railways.
Is it being followed?
No, right now nothing is being followed. It's all our demands and what we give to the government, and that's the statistics you're reading.
Rajul, in fact, the Madras High Court inspected hydraulic lifts for buses. And I think they expressed satisfaction with that. But we don't see any of these buses. I don't know where are these buses?
Actually, I haven't seen so many. Huh?
One bus is flying.
One bus?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think most of it's been overcrowded, and it doesn't, I mean, it's not in a usable thing. That's what we figure out.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Going back to jobs, this 3% reservation for the differently able, we really have to fight for it. Because we have our children are hearing impaired in Balavidyalaya. We have them, as she said, we integrate them. And then they do it very well. They've done ICWA, CA, MBA and all that. But then sometimes they get a job. When they go for the interview, they find them. But in government jobs, they are not given the 3% reservation. We have to fight for it. Our parent association is very strong. So because of that, we are trying to get jobs in government. Otherwise, this 3% is a reservation, and there's 1% for hearing impaired children that is not followed at all in governments. See, yes, they are very qualified, but then still they find it difficult to get jobs.
Madhumati, the census covers gender, it covers caste, it covers religion, it covers whether you have a pakka house or a kacha house, it covers whether you are a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian. But only after dharnas and after repeated faxes to the Prime Minister's office, that question number 15 on disability was added in the census. So we talk of an inclusive approach. I'm talking literally of inclusion here.
2001 census for the first time disabled people were included, and this time question number 15 has been added. But it's so bad that they have identified 4 categories. One with visual impairment, hearing and speech impairment, locomotor and mental impairments, which includes everything, mental illness, all neurological impairment and all that. And they don't recognize multiple disabilities, and they go with prime informant's knowledge about disability, and lot of miscommunication will happen that way, and this is going to this will be followed. So
on that subject, what about autism? Is autism actually, the Disabilities Act, does it consider autism?
Disability Act right now is not does not include autism, Sanjay. But
the reason I'm asking you is that not long ago we in Chennai were shocked when we saw visuals taken by actor Prithviraj on his mobile camera inside the airport, where his little son was not allowed to board a plane because the CISF Jawan there, in fact, to quote him, said he is mentally deranged. These are the insensitive words he used. And he'll be a threat to other passengers. This was shot by Prithviraj and of course circulated all, most of our television channels. We aired that.
11-year-old Ehad Mohan was not allowed to board an Air Deccan flight to Chennai at the Bangalore airport on Tuesday. Mohan is an autistic child, and CISF officials detained the family, claiming the boy will harm fellow passengers.
Why are you not allowing my son? I will show you. Why are you not allowing my son to travel by plane? Tell me.
The ordeal continued for 45 minutes till the airline staff interfered and let them board the aircraft. His father, who is a film actor in Tamil Nadu, had captured the inhuman behavior of CISF officials.
Why are you not allowing my son? Please be seated here. Yes, sir. You tell me why are you not allowing my son to travel in the plane? What is the rule? Tell me what is the rule.
I will show you. He is a mentally disabled person. No?
Okay.
Okay. That's why I am objecting. I am not satisfied with his behavior.
Tell me what is the rule.
My son and me walk, and this particular police officer was not only rude, was also insensitive to the fact that my son, has this. He didn't even know the term. He said, "आपके लड़के को क्या disease है?" I said, "Disease नहीं बोलते, sir, disability बोलते." अच्छा, mental disease है. I said, "Okay, क्या problem है इसका?" तो I tell him he has autism. ये क्या चीज़ होती है? So I said, "Sir, the flight is going to take off in half an hour's time. Now I can't be standing and explain to you what autism is. Let us go. You do your job." He says, "No, I will not let you go through." "You will not let us go through? Why?" He says, "There's a rule." I said, "Kab se?" He said, "From 1937." And a shy boy.
Experts say autistic children are harmless in most cases, and this insensitive approach towards such disabled passengers is unacceptable. According to them, only severe bedridden cases require a doctor to accompany during air travel, and mild autistic people ought to be allowed to fly without any hassle.
So autism today is not considered as a disability?
it is considered as a disability, but not as per law.
Not as per law, so it's not considered legally. I mean, that's...
Yeah, actually, it's not basically, it's not, it doesn't find place in the law. Even in the amendments, they said including, in the government's amendment thing, recently they talk about including autism. But we basically don't believe in listing out disability as a definition, Sanjay. It should be like, it should be holistic, and it should cover everyone. And this airline issue, it's not only for Mr. Prithviraj's son. It also happened for Rajiv. Recently, you showed the clipping of Rajiv just now. He was also denied travel for the same reason. He cannot travel without an escort, and he could be a threat to the other passengers. So after that, we did a campaign. We filed a public interest litigation. As a result, we have got a civil aviation rules in place right now. The DGCA has come out with it, which delineates between a medical passenger and a disabled passenger, and a lot of sensitization and access features are mandated in the rules right now.
All right, on that note, it's time to take another short break on SL Chennai Speaks Out. The Civil Aviation Ministry earlier found autistic children to be a threat. What about the bombs that are recovered on flights just recently? In that flight, an airline, in fact, from Bangalore to Trivandrum, they found a bomb there, but of course, that's not a threat.